I should move to electronic.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting for the Perry Municipal Authority, June 20th, 2022 at 6:15. Roll call, please.
Wine. Here. Marshall.
Here.
White.
Here.
Coffee.
Here.
Brown. Here. Dilbeck.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
Goldine. Strelling.
Here, I do declare a quorum. At this time, I will ask Reverend Kim Hayes if he would come forward. He is going to give us our invocation tonight. Thank you for being here, sir.
Always a privilege, always a privilege. Thank you. Let me pray for you. Father God, we come to you tonight. We're so grateful as we see this community grow and the new businesses, everything that's going on all around us. And God, we're thankful for that. Father, proud to be a citizen of this great town. Father, tonight for this council and for those that are here in the assembly together, I pray that you will just give calm hearts, a good spirit, Father, that you would just be glorified and Father, through the workings of your community here. And Father, we're grateful for this council that serves you. Father wants the best for this great city. And so Father, we just pray that you'll give wisdom and direction, not from only ourselves, but from above. And so, Father, we just meet in this place as we just give you praise and give you glory. And we thank you again for all that you do for us, God. You are a great and good God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Item number 1 is the consent agenda. There's one item on the for your approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wine. Here. Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Strelling.
Yes, thank you. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the PMA agenda. Seeing none, item 5, proclamation, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Item 6, conduct the final hearing on the PMA's fiscal year 2022-2023 budget, receive input from the public, discuss revenues, transfers, expenditures, and all related financial issues. If there's any public here that would like to have a discussion about the budget, we will hear from you at this point. Any authority members have any questions for Meredith? She was telling me earlier how she hopes you guys did. She would like to
I did
answer
say I wanted some
answer
feedback.
some
didn't
questions.
This should be the budget that you worked with on the 15th with Russ. 2% utility rate increase for a total of $232,000. Our CPI as of March of 2022 was 9.1%, dipped a little bit in May to 8.7%, back up to 9.1% in, I said May, I meant April, dipped in April, back up in May. There's a 2% increase in trash based upon the contract. That's on top of the 2% CPI that was discussed. And then the budget includes a 4% for employees.
Any questions?
I mean, I know Russ isn't here, but I mean, we've done a lot of work on this budget, so just appreciative of the 6 hours that we've spent, plus that outside of those meetings, just trying to make sure that we have a budget that works in the best interest of the city as well as our members, and it's not easy, but I feel like we've done our best to try to come up with something that will work for the best that we can make it do. So I'm sorry Russ isn't here. I'm glad we have you, but make sure that he knows that we're appreciative of the work that went into this.
Will do, yes.
Anyone else?
I would just like to say the fact that we've cut the 4% to 2%. I hope the people will know that we've heard what they have told us, the things that they have shared with us, and that we're doing the very best we can to be cognizant of the needs of the community.
Well, and work with us as we go through, because if it's not an emergency, it's not in this budget. So there's no cushion here. So I mean, I hope that they see that too we went through it. I mean, there's not a lot of projects, I mean, it's bare minimum to get us by, so.
All right, we'll move on to item 7. Consider approval of resolution number 2022-08 of the chairman and trustees of the Perry Municipal Authority adopting and approving its fiscal year 2022-2023 budget, appropriating the revenues for the stated purpose as contained in the budget, directing the chairman, the trust manager, and the trust secretary to take any and all additional actions as may be required for the implementation of this budget.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes,
Dillbeck,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, board members. Item 8, consider amendments to the FY 2021-2022 budgets. Meredith?
Yes, sorry, you just got these. We've been, as we're trying to move forward with 23, I have to wrap up 22 here. The good news is, net impact is 0 change. There's been no change in the bottom line for the general fund or the PMA. The airport itself is a decrease of about $28,000 because we're expecting another purchase of fuel, and that fuel will go into inventory. We don't expect that we'll get it all sold before the end of the year. So I can go through the details of it. You'll hear most of it when we go through financials, but specifically in general fund, revenues increased almost $475,000. That's your sales tax. I mean, sales tax, use tax, franchise tax, gas excise tax, alcohol beverage tax have all been extremely strong for the city. Royalty revenues were up as well. Hotel motel tax up about $40,000, and then police revenues have done good as well. We did have an increase in expenses for the same amount of money. Personal services and parks, library related to materials and supplies, ballpark of $48,000 due to projections, and then police for personnel and other expenses. So in total, our revenue increase matched our expense increase. So net change to the bottom line was 0. Consistent in PMA, revenue increase of $821,000 based upon what we've been able to bill. Hot summer, people have been using electricity, and you'll see that our electric purchases went up $750,000. We kept a consistent margin. Revenues went up, expenses went up, margin stayed consistent. That was the main piece of increase for our expenses. Bottom line, no change in net revenues. And then the last one is the airport decrease of $28,000, specifically related to the purchase of fuel. So basically just some housekeeping, but it's there in all its detail.
Any questions? All right. We don't need a motion on that, do we, Bryce?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, you have to approve it. You have
Okay.
to approve the.
All right, well, I didn't say anything on the agenda, so I just want. So a motion would be,
Motion to approve amendments?
Second.
any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
yes,
Dillbeck,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 9, advertise for bids for the agricultural lease at the Perry Municipal Airport.
You may have seen that we put the wrong lease in the section, you got the one for the Perry Commercial Park here and the one for the Perry Municipal Airport back where the one for the South Commercial Park is. One thing that Larry had asked, which I think is good, what if we saw some economic development at the airport or the South Commercial Lease? Both contracts have provisions allowing us to exempt out that land if it's purchased or leased, or we need it for airport purposes, or we need it for municipal purposes, or we want to lease it or sell it for economic development purposes. So,
Is that provision new, or has that always been?
no, that's been in there. Yeah,
Thought
that's
so.
been in there. So no, it's not new, but I won't tell you that, just to make sure that this 7-year lease, we've got protection under it, and we've got oil and gas provisions, and it's subservient to those leases too. But all we're doing right now is taking bids. And so we're hopeful that we can get those bids in and can bring this back to July 5th, because it actually should renew July 1st. But it got out there a little late, but we'd ask that you advertise for specs, and we'll bring that back to you, what we received.
I make a motion, we advertise for bids for agricultural lease at the Perry Municipal Airport.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Gilbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 10, any new business that needs to come before the authority this evening? Hearing none, we will move to item 11, motion on adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
Lyons.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Gilbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Stroller.
yes, thank you.
I just like to mix it up. Always.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Perry, June 20th, 2022 at 6:27. Roll call, please.
Lyons.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
White.
Here.
Coffee.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Gilbeck.
Here.
Vaughn.
Here.
Coldarn. Stroller.
Here. I do declare a quorum. First item is the consent agenda. There's 6 items, I believe, on there for your approval.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lyons.
Sorry. Yes.
Marshall.
It's not good to be
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Gilbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Coldarn. Stroller.
Yes. Thank you. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the city agenda.
Is this where I get up?
Pardon?
Is this where I get up? I don't want to get missed.
Well, yeah, you can get up, but there's nothing on the city agenda.
I talked to Larry 2 weeks ago. Told him that I was gonna be here about the flooding, because remember, not gonna be here. Because when I left the one before, it kind of was left with nothing saying, so I talked to you to see where we're going on the next phase with the flooding, because the money man made a comment about what about if we don't do nothing. The engineer was still talking, and everybody was talking, and we just kind of left it at nothing. So I don't know any more today than I knew 3 years ago. I talked to him, and he made a comment to me that nobody knows anything about them wanting to buy my house on the corner except him and Bryce Kennedy, but it was in the minutes, and the city council has to approve the minutes, so how do they not know that now you're wanting to buy the house on the corner to put a retention pond?
Russ, have you talked to the engineer?
No. That was, of course, and I did call you and speak to you about that. I talked to you about that being an option, not that we were ready to make an offer, or that, I mean, that had to be part of a drainage plan. We've had a second engineer review of that drainage plan, quite frankly, Matthew Coe. I wanted him to look at it and put he's very practical, put his mind in it, and he's prepared some comments that he has about it. We're going to try to marshal those opinions and bring something back to you. Of course, this project, we do have drainage funds, dedicated fund in our budget that could be used for one or more drainage projects. So that exists. But of course, you know, the issues here are how much will we have to spend? How much do we have to spend? Whether we could get a grant for a portion of this. And all that is, you know, is being considered. I'm wanting to take the opportunity to go with Matthew to see if there's if he has any ideas, but we've let him read the reports, and he seems to always have good practical solutions, so I'm waiting to hear from him. We have been, as you can see from this agenda, we've been involved in a number of things, but the solving of that drainage problem for that area is a priority because the council has directed us that be a priority of this council. So I would say that that's my update. We have, you know, we've continued to look at it. We've continued to get more opinions. I did make that call, but it would have to be a part of a overall solution. And of course, I haven't heard what that price might be, which of course would play a part in whether or not it would be possible that we could do that or not. So I guess that's my report.
Where do we go from here?
Do we have any timeline of when he can get back to us on the second opinion?
We will try to get something done in July. To try to have an agenda back on, an item on the agenda, and re-review this and
Maybe we'll get Matt come give us a
and help.
report.
Yeah, and help define it. Yes.
Could I be notified, please, before that?
Yes.
Do what?
And could we please be notified so
Yes.
we can attend it?
Yep.
Because you know what, it's our life.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Anyone else? Item 5, proclamations, commendations, reports, inquiries by the governing body. Hearing none. Item 6, receive the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll do this real fast. Simple Simon's Pizzas has its soft opening scheduled for next Tuesday. So watch Facebook, you should probably see something about that, the exact hours on that. 7th Street Spa opens to the public July 11th. It's down on 7th Street, close to the lodge. Love's, if you've been out over the weekend, you saw that Love's has been working really hard, a lot of hours, doing everything they possibly can to open early October. So that's a lot faster and a lot sooner than we thought originally. We're so excited about that. Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, moving quickly to get open for business as soon as possible. They haven't given us a time yet, but they're working as long hours as well. This season, BMAC has hosted 193 teams 2,200 players, 4,600 adults. We're excited about that as well. That seems to be going up every year. Good things for BMAC. The pool has hosted 900 visitors so far, and if you remember, they just opened Memorial Day. They have 5 parties already in the books, and they have 5 more scheduled, so it's going to be a good turnout as well. And if you've, I've been by a couple of times, and there's kids everywhere, so it's really nice to see. So, council, any questions? All right.
Are we sharing with the rest of the businesses about the amount of people coming in on Saturday and Sundays for
Yes, we are.
BMAC?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a brochure.
No, I mean like specifically like the numbers that you just gave us of how, because I've heard of just, there's only a couple places open and there's complaints that there's nothing here in Perry. And I just thought maybe the businesses would like to know that there's that many families and adults coming in. If they knew that, maybe it would change their mind and being open on a Sunday.
I do know that Lee goes and contacts the hotels and also the restaurants prior to new tournaments coming in. So we can certainly look and see where we are. Are we being effective in that? And if not, then ramp up
Because I
that.
would even say the shops around the square, I mean, if they don't know, I mean, access, you know, I mean, there's just different things, and I've heard that they're going, hey, is anything else open, or is this it? From a couple of stores that are the only ones open on a Sunday. So I just thought if we could share the stats, and maybe more people might take interest or be open part-time or something.
Okay, I'll be happy to reach out to Lee again. Council, anything else?
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Item 7, receive the chief financial officer's report. Meredith?
Here you go. May financials. We are 11 months through the fiscal year with these financials. Total cash, about $10.8 million. We're down 1.6%. Because Bryce brought it up, under your restricted cash, just so you all can track it every month and see what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth line down is your drainage fee dollars. $211,000. That gets updated every month based upon what comes in through the utility bills. So, place you can track that to watch if you have questions about it. The other place I want to point out on the financials, and I'm sure Russ does this, $432,000 in ARPA money. You all know that you've restricted that for certain purposes, and specifically got a letter this week stating that they have reallocated some funds, so we get an additional $2,015. That should come in around September. And then our actual second deposit will be $424,000, and it should come in around December. So, good information to have. I guess some people didn't actually take their ARPA dollars, so we got a little boost there, which was nice.
Meredith, have we heard anything about the FEMA money from the ice storm?
I have not.
Thank you.
General fund should be at 92% of budget right now. What I want to point out is sales tax and use tax. This month compared to last month, sales tax is at 7%, use tax is at 51%. In total, this month compared to last month, we're up 14% on sales and use tax. Year to date, we're up 13%. Been very impressed with how this community's been supported, and either from the ballparks or just people buying in general. It's been very nice to see. As city manager talked about, park and rec expenses are up 17%, swimming pool's up 28%. That activity is very seasonal. It's what's driving your May financials right now. In total, we've lost about $233,000. That's better than our budget. Our budget was a 1.1, but we know with all this sales tax coming in that we should be pretty clean going forward. Questions on general fund? Okay. Municipal authority. Our margin for electric, water, sewer, and trash, 21% margin compared to a 15% budgeted. This is our money-making time when it's warm, people are using their electricity, and our numbers reflect that, which is nice. Administrative revenues seem straight on budget. Once we transfer out money over to the general fund, about $2.6 million, we are at a break-even position of about $42,000 loss. Questions? All right, with budget amendments, hopefully, everything will shore up and look fantastic at 100% next month on your financials, and we can close the year out with no findings, which would be great.
Any questions for Meredith? Thank you. Item 9, item 8. Consider amendments to the FY 2021-2022 budget if required.
Those were the same amendments that I went over. I covered them all under PMA. Net change is 0. Revenues were up $473,000, mainly because those taxes that we just talked about.
Any questions? Thank you, Meredith. Item 9, conduct a final hearing on the City of Perry's 2022-2023 general fund budget and other budgets.
Do we need to
Receive.
approve the amendments?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A motion to approve the amendments to the fiscal year 2022 budget.
Roll call.
Wines. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Dilbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Now we'll go to 9. Conduct final hearing on the City of Perry's 2022-2023 general fund budget and other budgets. Receive input from the public, discuss revenues, transfers, expenditures, and all related financial issues. This is pretty much exactly the same thing we did in the PMA, it's just in the city side now.
Do we need to like vocalize these monthly utility bill comparisons and things so that citizens know how this budget, the 2% raise affects them?
If you would like.
Is that what we talked about?
Well, I do that? Sure. So, we don't want to run past that, to your point, Gloria, that we did hear from the public. We know that there's a lot of concerns about this. We spent a lot of time trying to go through a budget that would work, and thought it was important as we were talking through this that we were comparing what a utility with the monthly bills would be now versus when this goes into effect. There's been discrepancies about that as well. It's not July 1 when.
No, it is July.
It is
It's
July
July
1,
1.
not bad. Not bad. It is July 1, that's what I meant. It was already approved.
Yeah.
Okay, so the current bill for a $100 bill, currently starting in July with the new bill, it'd be $2 more. For a family that runs around $200, that would be an additional $4 on that bill. And a family that runs at $300 monthly would be at $6 more than where they're at today, and $400 for a family that runs with a monthly utility bill around that for a comparison. So that is with the current 2% that we were able to manage within the budget versus the 4% that was originally being looked at in our budget. And I would say that that budget also goes back to holding employees. We only went with those that we had to have. We looked at only projects in the city that we absolutely had to have. Things like utility poles, and just really looking at what we had to have as a city to manage under emergencies and things like that. There are no luxury items or some things that we want to have. It was definitely a necessity only that we were looking at within our budget.
Good job, Jamie.
Any of these others that want to come?
The majority on this
Oh, okay.
pie chart, it looks like the majority of customers, citizens who pay utilities are between the $151 and $300, so that would be roughly $250
To $5.
$6.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
$250 to $6 is the average
Or in the
of what
majority
would
of.
be Majority,
Correct.
which would be less than $6.
You can have it.
So if anybody was curious as to how that would affect themselves and everyone else.
Thank you for doing that.
I guess Russ did
Any
that.
further questions,
Yeah.
statements?
He asked me to put this together, I wish he was here. We did.
If not, we'll need a motion on the budget.
You've moved on to 10.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's the hearing, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Item 10, consider approval of resolution 2022-08 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, adopting and approving its FY 2022-2023 general fund and other budgets and appropriating the revenues for the stated purposes contained in the budgets, directing the mayor, the city manager, the city clerk to take any and all additional actions as may be required for implementation of this budget. And this is the approval, sorry.
Motion to approve the resolution 2022-08 for the budget for next year.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 11, consider ordinance pertaining to the city's utility systems and Grace Hill Cemetery. Item A, consider approval of ordinance 2022-10 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 18 of the Perry Municipal Code 2022 by amending Section 17-607E entitled Solid Waste Collection and Disposal Rates, providing for a 4% increase in solid waste collection and disposal rates, providing for repealer savings codification severability, effective date, and declaring an emergency. Now, you remember that we're only raising this 2% for our benefit, but the other 2% is the pass-through rate from Davis Sanitation, so.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Motion on emergency, please.
Motion on emergency?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item B, consider approval of ordinance number 2022-11, City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 18 of the Perry Municipal Code 2022 by the amendment of Section 17-201 entitled Electric Utility Fees and Billing in General, providing for a 2% increase in electric rates, providing for repealer savings codification severability, effective date, and declaring an emergency.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Motion on emergency, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item C, consider approval of ordinance number 2022-12 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 18 of the Municipal Code 2022 by amending Section 17-403 entitled Water Rates, providing for a 2% increase in the water rates, providing for repealer savings codification, severability, effective date, and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Motion on emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Consider approval of ordinance number 2022-13 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 18 of the Perry Municipal Code by amending section 17.510 entitled Sanitary Sewer Use Rates, providing for a 2% increase in the sanitary sewer use rates, providing for repeal or savings, codification, severability, effective date, and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. E, consider approval of ordinance number 2022.
Emergency.
Oh, motion of emergency, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. E, consider approval of ordinance number 2022-14 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 18 of the Perry Municipal Code 2022 by the amendment of Section 11-211 entitled Grace Hill Cemetery Fee Schedule, providing for a new subsection 12, providing for certain fees for the burial urns and setting vaults for urns, providing for repeal or savings, codification, or severability, and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Motion on emergency, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 12, consider approval of ordinance number 2022-15, amending the Chapter 10 of the Perry Municipal Code 2022 by amending the section 10-704 entitled Fireworks Regulated, selling fireworks within the city limits. Permit required by the addition of subsection G governing the possession, discharge of fireworks, and public display of fireworks at CCC Lake, CCC Park, Perry Lake, and the surrounding city properties, providing for repeal or savings, codification, severability, penalty, and declaring an emergency.
It has always been up to the city council to allow public displays of fireworks and to allow possession and shooting off fireworks in the parks, which are, or lakes, which are located outside of your corporate limits. But we never really had a policy. And so what this does is it codifies what you've done, and it says none of that will be allowed at Perry Lake or Perry Lake Park or CCC Lake or CC Lake Park unless this council authorizes. And if it authorizes it, then you authorize the dates and times for public displays, and you authorize possession and discharge of fireworks, whether that's allowed or not. It goes on to say that then the park superintendent will designate the area within which it'll be allowed if you allow it. That's essentially what this does. It removes the issue of whether we can have firework display or fireworks in places where it's always been, and that's in the hands of the city council. That's why for as long as I've been here, I guess Gary May and Tom Davis have done the fireworks display. I think one time it was at CCC Lake Park, but the fire chief brought this item to me, and it was what he wanted. Quite frankly, that takes the decision off his hand, because otherwise it was kind of his decision, and he wants it to be your decision. So is that accurate, would you say?
I would just say I need some guidance and direction on what you guys want to allow to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to make that decision.
Of course.
If you tell me
And I am-
CCC Lake Park is an appropriate place for the public to pop fireworks, just know that we don't have the personnel available for standby out there like we do at Perry Lake.
And we want you to tell us if that's inappropriate.
I will say there's a lot more, if anyone's ever driven around CCC Lake, there's not as many fire breaks. There's a lot of brush out there. There's a lot of tall grass. I live right next to the area where they pop fireworks. I mean, I've got a pasture and cattle that will burn if fireworks get on me, which is right next to where they pop fireworks. It's just one of those situations that I'm aware that that's a risk I take living where I'm living, but I don't want to put other people at risk when there's a lot more residential structures in that area with grass and no fire breaks.
So Russell, this ordinance, will it still allow the popping of the fireworks by the public at the lake?
Absolutely.
At the Prairie Lake? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was, I think, the direction we were trying to go with that, is that the parks superintendent would be the one designating the area for the.
I thought that's what it said, but I just want to make sure that that's what we're talking about.
It's only, when we say you can, not every day.
Exactly.
And the purpose behind that was, there was, I believe it was back in 2012, I think. There was some torrential rainfall and the spillway was full of water, and it was just one of those situations that we didn't want a lot of people out driving into the spillway and causing a mess. I mean, the Parks Department, the Street Department do an incredible job. I don't know if you've ever been out there on the morning of July 5th, but it's quite the show to watch city crews clean that up, and they're amazing at what they do. But that's why I felt, and Bryce felt, that it was best to put that in the hands of the parks, because again, their crews are the ones that are gonna have to go out there and pick all that up, so.
And when you say 2012, that's when they had it at CCC.
And that's when they had it at
Lake.
CCC Lake.
Okay.
On like 2 weeks later or something, I think, or maybe even later than that. I mean, it wasn't on the July 4th, but again, that was a decision made by the council to choose that date and location and allow that.
And it opened to the public to shoot, it was just the public display only is where they shot
Right.
from out there.
Yeah.
Bryce, I know that I've been doing a lot of budget work here and at work, and did we not just have this on the agenda a couple weeks ago?
Yes, we did, but
Okay, yes, but as long as you say yes, I'm
an
like, okay.
earlier,
Am I dreaming this?
an earlier draft of the ordinance was on there, and so we placed it back on there with the correct draft. And that's where it gives you the decision on date and time and what they do, and the park superintendent makes the decision of where. That was, an earlier draft was attached. I wanted to make sure that you got the correct copy.
Okay.
We
It is
discussed it,
attached.
but we didn't approve.
Right, we discussed it.
No,
in
you
the copy
didn't
of the
approve
old
it.
ordinance.
Yeah,
Okay.
I asked for time to get you the
To get
correct.
it drawn up.
Right.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
Did we find anything else? That's also when we talked about the park not being locked anymore, right? And that one that came up also, that we
Thank you,
found that
Russ.
we're not locking the
Yes.
park anymore? Did we change that? Are we
That's up to
fixing
the city manager.
it? Have we done anything with that?
It's being
Might
locked
help
now at
with this.
night.
Pardon?
We are shutting it at night.
Thanks.
All right, council, what do you want to do with this ordinance?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Motion on emergency, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. All right, item 13, bear with me. Approve annual contracts with a third-party person and/or entities and resolution in support of Main Street. A, contract with the Cherokee Strip Museum for Tourism and Development.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. B, contract for services with the Perry Senior Citizens Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item C, contract with Northern Oklahoma Development Authority doing business as Cherokee Strip Transit.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item D, contract with Perry Chamber of Commerce for tourism development.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item E, contract with David Payne as planning consultant.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. F, contract with Main Street of Perry Incorporated.
I have a question on the page 3 of their.
On which one? Main Street?
Main Street,
Okay.
yeah. And it's just a question, but it says the Main Street Director shall attend the second meeting of the month of Perry City Council.
They used to do that.
Okay, is this something we prefer for them to do? Because I don't know if, I know we don't have one right now, but if maybe we need to let them know that that is something that they're supposed to do. Because they,
You know, I
Just
don't,
have-
I have to look back in the chamber contract too. They used to come and, I don't remember, was it quarterly
Well,
reports or something? They used to come and give us
I went
reports.
through
And
there.
that has kind of fell off too.
yeah, well, I
Did
didn't
they-
see it in there.
Yeah, they excluded theirs.
Oh, did they?
I didn't
Yes.
see that. But I didn't know if we just wanted to leave that or take that.
It's up to you guys.
We do normally receive a report from them.
Right, but it says they're supposed to be here.
We can do that, yeah, if you'd like that.
I mean, I
I
don't
think we
it's
kind of
just-
got away from it due to the pandemic and all that, so.
Right, so I don't know.
I don't
What
think
everybody
there's
feels
any
about
need
it.
to take their time to be here away from their families unless we had a question or request of them to come.
I like the reports, just know what's happening, to be able to report on that. But I agree, if we had a question, we could ask them to come in.
Which number was that? And we're talking
It's
about,
number
13.
5 on page 3 of the
It's F, contract with Main Street.
service
All right.
contract for Main Street Ferry. It's number 5 on page 3. That last sentence.
yeah, it should be the last two sentences there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, last two,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And I know maybe they can't come every time, but it was just, I just noticed that and I knew that they hadn't been, so I didn't know if we wanted to keep it there and make sure that the new director knows about it, or if we want to change it. I'm fine leaving it, but. So, y'all are good to go, just.
We can delete that. I mean, it's up to you guys. They give a pretty, decent report. If we have some questions, we can always
Now,
I'm okay with that.
make requests to have them come, or we can ask for a reply to the questions.
Okay, so do they have a sentence about providing a report?
Yeah,
On page 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Number
Yeah,
2?
yeah, there's-
Okay. Quarterly? Okay. So do we just take that out?
You just making a motion to approve that with exclusion of?
yes, those two sentences.
Yep. You want to make that?
So, make a motion to approve, but with deleting the 2 sentences from section 5 of the agreement.
Second. Sorry.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Hines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Colburn, Stroller.
Yes, thank you. G, resolution number 2022-09 in support of the FY 2022-2023 Main Street program.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dolbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Okay, Council H and I, we are real close to reaching an agreement with the unions of the police and fire, but at this point, we're not quite there. So we will
Table.
Good.
table those two items if you make that motion.
We have to make a motion. I make a motion to table, do I have to read them, or can I just
No,
say?
just say H and I.
Okay, H and I, until resolution has been formed. Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Dolbeck.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 14, consider approval of a lot split and site plan on the application of AAB Engineering LLC on behalf of the owner developer, Perry 24361 LLC, concerning a tract of real property with a street address of 1710 and 1716 Fur Avenue, Perry, Oklahoma, 73077. Bryce?
Well, this is the Dollar General Market retail store. They want a lot split. They provide the appropriate survey. There was a hearing on the site plan review. There was notice posted on the property. There were no protests to the site plan review. The planning commission recommended both the site plan review as submitted and the lot split, and are recommending that you approve it. If you do want to approve it, you would do it in this item. You would concur with the recommendation.
Can someone just remind me what it means to do a lot split?
Yeah. A lot split takes one piece of property and divides it into two. As you know, this is going to be, they're actually going to put two stores there, is that correct, Larry?
No, just one.
We have a gentleman here from.
I can help answer your
organization.
questions, but no, just one store.
Could you go ahead and just state your name? And who
Absolutely.
you're with?
John Mabry, I work for Rube Helmer, we're the developers in conjunction with AAB Engineering that are.
Then the purpose of the lot split?
We didn't need the whole entire site, so we split off a portion of it and just took what we need.
What are you gonna do with the other side?
It's part of the shade property, I believe, like that.
So are you taking the portion?
We're taking just a portion that we need, correct. 'cause
So the
large-
portion you're leaving is going to be between your store and that fur on fur?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And in order to subdivide a property, you either go through the subdivision regulations, of which the lot split is a form of subdivision. And it's allowed just as long as you don't do it too many times, because the whole purpose of subdivision is planning. And so, but if you're just splitting it one time, we allow lot split. There's really no notice. You just have to have the tract surveyed, and they did that, and they were approved at planning. I didn't attend the planning commission meeting, so.
So
Thank you.
they're still required to maintain that piece?
No, the other piece belongs to the owner,
Okay.
the seller.
Okay, that's correct.
Thank you for being here, Perry. We
Absolutely.
appreciate
Thank you.
Any other questions?
When's it gonna be ready? No.
We're hoping to start end of July, 1st of August, start construction.
Awesome.
And then hopefully turn it over end of November, 1st of December. And then they'll stock it and open it, so. It moves pretty quick once it gets going.
that. What's the difference between this and the one that we have now?
The Marcus store is a bigger configuration. I think it's 12,480 square feet, so a larger store with more product. So, and it's kind of got a newer look as well.
Does it have refrigeration?
It does, yes, sir. Yes.
Say
And so
newer.
that's, what kind of goods are?
Just kind of your standard produce, kind of your basic necessities, I would say.
Okay, so it adds a whole line of produce to the community.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you say a newer look, what's that look? Does it still look like a metal building?
It still looks like a metal building. It's got what I call brick wainscot around the front, and it'll kind of wrap both sides, which would be the east and the west portions. I think it's about 4 feet tall from the finished grade to the 4-foot elevation. So that'll be brick, and then the rest is just a painted metal panel.
Yeah, if you see any of their new stores they built anywhere, that's what it looks like. There's some that still order.
Correct.
Most of the
That's
stores.
right, yeah.
We love refrigeration, so that's fantastic. Good.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Motion to approve the lot split.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroll.
Yes, thank you. Item 15, consider approval of a lot split and use by review for applicants for Charles Walters, principal of NEC LLC, for real property described as follows: Lot 22, 23, 24, Block 1, Doyle Edition, City of Perry, according to the record plat thereof, and street address of 109 South 7th Street, Perry, Oklahoma 73077, to provide Tier 1 and Tier 2 processing at the current marijuana dispensary retail store.
That actually is incorrect. It's not a lot split, it's site plan. And if you read the agenda, it's site plan, not lot split. So if you remember, we passed this ordinance after a number of months where we took a look at processors, and we talked about Tier 1, Tier 2, how they differ from Tier 3 processing, which is basically located only in industrial sections. And we provided that if you had a license, a dispensary license, and if you applied for a use by review and submitted a site plan, you could be able to process under Tier 1 and Tier 2, which is the non-hazardous, non-chemical processing. We do have an application. I think that they're here and can address this. It went by the use by review and site plan. It was approved. There were no protests. It was approved by the Planning Commission, and they are recommending that you approve both their site plan and use by review. And it was recommended, the site plan was recommended as presented.
There was one protest.
I'm sorry?
Was there one protest?
Stated at the planning commission, she wasn't protest to what they would be doing, it's just.
Okay.
There were no, when you protest, it's got to be properly filed 3 days before the clerk. That's how we regulate, determine protests, so no legal protest.
Okay.
Would you like to, this is your item, right?
Right.
Yeah, would you like to speak to the council?
Hi, my name is Martha Walter again. I think that we're getting closer to our proposal. So at this point, I think that Brian Henry was gonna go with maybe the fire chief to walk around. Once we get this approval, we need a certificate of compliance from you guys, some signatures before we can even submit our application. At this time, I think we talked about what we're doing. Mr. Kennedy's 100% correct what we're trying to do. And if you guys have any questions for us that we haven't covered, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions?
Zoning and those kind of conditions have to be in place before the regulating entity, the state, will issue the processor license, so.
And I know that you guys discussed something about like future, like about approving other people that wanted to come forward for this, for the same rezoning and other stuff. OMA right now, after August, they put a cap. Nobody's gonna be able to apply for 2 years, a memorandum. So you guys will be in the clear for that for 2 years after this. So it's imperative that we get this document before then so we can submit our application. So I am in a hurry because I do need 15 documents. It's not just this one that I have to apply. Secretary of State, background checks. I need so many, but I can't move forward without this document that I need from you guys.
Council?
I can make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
No.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar, Stroller.
Yes. Item 16, consider and approve an extension of storage of 4 temporary storage containers by Mark Thine of the Holiday Inn Express located at 3002 West 1st Street, Prairie, Oklahoma 73077 for an additional 180 days. I know, is this, Bryce, do you know if this is the storage units that are out south of the hotel there?
Yes.
They're storing equipment or something
Yes,
in
you
it?
know, they did that renovation, and they have materials, and they have equipment in there, and they did ask for 180 days. You remember, we passed this ordinance because we just didn't want these large, these large boxes, containers to be located all over town, so we provided for some regulation. Every time you have a regulation, you try to provide for exceptions to that regulation in a process where they can ask for an exception. And they have asked for, they had it on their property for the length of time they were allowed to. They asked for an extension. It went to the Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission recommended giving them an extension for 180 days. They said that's all they needed. So we are recommending that you extend that.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the extension of the 4 containers for an additional 180 days. Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 17, approve the retirement pension for Brenda Lee Stotts.
So moved.
Second.
I don't know how long she was employed by the city of Perry, but she's like a patriarch. We'll miss her greatly. So, roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 18, approval of change order number 2, deducting the amount of $1,875, and application and certificate of payment number 3, final in the amount of $20,001 to J&J Solutions LLC on improve the airport drainage project at the Prairie Municipal Airport and accept the project. They finished up the work, and this is, seems like forever that we've been talking about this.
I like the word final.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's cost us a lot of money, man. It just seems like it's dragged out forever.
Yeah.
But,
All except that.
yeah.
Is that a motion to approve, Jamie? I mean, for the deduction.
Come on, just pay the bill, let's go.
Fine. I make a motion that we approve the final bill to J&J Solutions for the airport drainage project. Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Goldar, Stroller.
Yeah. Item 19, authorize the mayor to execute the agreement with the Banner Fire Equipment Incorporated for the purchase of an E1 pumper model FC94 fire truck in the amount of $589,762.
Keeping his head down.
And further authorize the mayor to execute any and all other documents necessary to fulfill this procurement process. Russell, you and I didn't have this talk. I didn't know I had to do this.
Said something.
There's a whole lot of mayor words in here.
Jamie, if this looks like deja vu, it is.
Yeah.
You know, This was also on your
Fire truck.
agenda,
Fire truck, fire truck, budget.
but we need this agreement. We need a formal approval of this agreement, which we hadn't provided you. There are a number of other documents that you have. Have we got those executed yet?
For the most part, I think,
For the most
yes.
part. So let's, if you approve this, let's get all the documents executed and back to Marita to confirm up that grant. But this is just a document that was not on your agenda, and she wanted to see that it was formally approved. As you remember, we already appropriated the local match at the last one, so there's no issue to approve this.
Just want to remind anybody that's listening that this is not us spending all this money, that we have a grant towards these fire truck, or this fire truck to help us.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the agreement for the mayor to sign to help us.
Second.
To help us.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Advertisement of bids for the agricultural lease at the South Commercial Park. Okay, this is what Bryce said, you know, back in PMA, that's where this agreement was. I got them switched around, so,
It's the same.
but this is for the acreage that's across the road south from Sooners Corner.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Item 21. Hang on a second. We got 220s and 221s, and I think this is item 21. Any new business that needs to come before the council tonight? Hearing none, I will move to 22, not 20. Consider convening executive session to confer on a confidential matter pertaining to economic development in the city of Perry related to the economic development agreement with Blue Badger Investments of Perry, LLC, and Oklahoma Limited Liability Company and Blue Badger Properties of Perry, LLC, and Oklahoma Limited Liability Company in the development of the Perry Commercial Park as public disclosure of the matter will interfere with the implementation of the agreement pursuant to 250307C11 Oklahoma statute as amended. Item number 2, to conduct a performance evaluation on the city manager, Larry Pennell, as provided in his employment agreement pursuant to Title 25, Section 307B1 of the Oklahoma statute as amended. I also would like to ask Mr. Jared if he would stay. He's been patiently waiting back there, so I appreciate that. So if we have a motion to move into executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. All right, motion to reconvene in a regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Here.
White,
Here.
Coffee,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes. Any action, take any action with respect to the executive session? Item 25, motion on adjournment.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Wines,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes.